Hey guys, Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing my third trimester checklist. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe before you leave so you don't miss any of my future videos. All right, let's get into it. I am currently 34 weeks pregnant, which is insane. I'm feeling a little panicky that this little guy is coming very soon and I am not prepared yet. I made a little checklist. It looks long. There are some items, but some of them are super quick to check off. But I wanted to be realistic about the things that I wanted to do before he got here. And so I'm going to share those things with you if you are pregnant or will be at some point. These are just kind of a jumping off point of things that you can start doing right now so that you can feel a little bit more prepared going into the end of your pregnancy. A couple of the items that we have already crossed off the list were super easy to cross off. One of them was take a birthing class, which we did that through our hospital. Everything was virtual, but you could do it through your hospital. There's a bunch of online ones that you can go through the modules on your own time. There's a lot of options, and I'm sure depending on if you're watching this in the future when the whole world is not shut down, then you might be able to do it in person through your hospital or through a community center or something like that. But definitely take a birth class. We finished ours up a couple of weeks ago and it was all via like Zoom. And so there were a bunch of people you could ask questions live. I also had Adam download a contraction timing app on his phone so that when I do go into labor, we're not scrambling trying to figure out how to time the contractions. You just push a button when the contraction starts and then when it stops, and then it'll kind of keep track of everything for you, how far apart they are, how long they're lasting, the intensity, all of that. And then on that same note, we also both downloaded an infant app. And the one that I downloaded is called, I think it's called Huckleberry. Yes, it is called Huckleberry. And it kind of gives you just a little bit more insight into like it'll track your sleep, the feedings, diaper changes, pumping, medicine, growth, temperature, all of those things all in just like one, it has his name at the top, but all in one little area. So this is one that a few moms recommended to me, so I'm excited to try it out. I obviously don't know what it's like to track an infant, but I think that this will be really helpful just because trying to remember things when you're sleep deprived or trying to write them down and find the spot that you wrote them is just not going to happen. So downloading those apps are just one thing that we can do to not have to worry about it. I've been really trying to keep my anxiety in check, and I think crossing things off the list that I can do right now has been really, really helpful. So if you're in the same boat, highly recommend just taking charge of the things that you can take charge of. I also wanted to make sure that we did our maternity photos and that I bought a baby book, and both of those are done. We did our maternity photos when I was, I think 32 weeks maybe. We did them like 3-ish weeks ago, I wanna say. I can't remember. Anyway, we did our maternity photos and then I got a baby book for my shower. So both of those are done, crossed off the list. Again, I wanted to make sure that the maternity photos were done while I had a big bump, but not to the point that I was so uncomfortable, which I feel like I just hit that point right around when I hit 34 weeks. I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, let's get the show on the road. I am ready to not be pregnant anymore. Those are all of the things that we have already done. So now let's go through the list of things we haven't done, which is quite a few things. So the first thing is scheduling a house cleaner, which is something that we don't have somebody come and clean our house ever, but we've been doing a lot of construction, a lot of just different projects at our house, and I thought it'd be really nice to have somebody come in and deep clean like the baseboards, the floors, the windows, all those places that don't get cleaned all the time, just so that we can come home with this new baby to a completely fresh house. So I'm really looking forward to that, getting rid of all of the construction dust. So I'm planning on scheduling that to be probably right when I'm around like 39 weeks, I'm thinking, because then it'll be, you know, close to when he comes, hopefully, depending on when he comes. I don't know when that will be. And we'll just have a clean start so we won't have to worry about it. Another thing that's on my list is to clean and sanitize all of his pacifiers, bottles, the pump, all of those little parts, and then also wash all of his clothing so that everything is good to go. We have a little insert for the bassinet. We want to make sure that that is washed so that when we get home from the hospital, we don't have to worry about trying to figure out where things are, if we need to wash them, if we need to sterilize them. Everything will be ready for us to use when we get home. I'm also working on finishing up his nursery. I need to organize his dresser. Basically everything that we got from the shower, I have just shoved into drawers in the dresser. And now I need to start actually organizing it and getting things under control so I know what we have, what we still need, and all of that. Another thing I need to do is fill and organize my diaper bag. Honestly, I don't really even know what I need to keep in it besides like diapers and wipes. So that's gonna be something that I need to figure out. And obviously put those things into the diaper bag so that that is ready to go. I actually think I might bring my diaper bag as like the baby's bag for my hospital bag and just put all of the baby's stuff in that bag because it's just a little backpack, so it would be super easy to bring, and then I will have everything for him all in one place. Next is to set up the bassinet and install the car seat. We have an infant car seat, so we have car seat adapters that will go in each of our cars. So we need to install those and just make sure we know how that works. We're not putting them in early just because we obviously don't want to get into like a fender bender or something and end up having to get rid of that car seat. So we will likely like install the bases and just make sure that we're familiar with it and then put the car seat actually in the car closer to my due date. And then the bassinet, we just need to set that up, put it in our room, make sure we know where it's gonna go, how to use it. We have no idea yet, obviously. So yeah, we just need to get that set up in our room. I also have on my list to buy postpartum supplies. I don't have anything right now, but I've made a list of things that I need to buy for my postpartum recovery that has kind of been curated from my friends and just what I've heard. So I will be placing an order probably at Target and just doing a little pickup for all of the items that they have recommended to me so I can make sure I have everything ready to go. Again, I want this to be as easy as possible so that when we come home from the hospital, I'm not feeling like I need to drag myself out of the house trying to get different things or like frantically ordering things from Amazon trying to get them delivered the next day. So I just want everything to be as calm and smooth as possible. We need to find a pediatrician. I think that they have the pediatrician come to the hospital after the baby is born before you leave, or you have to have an appointment set with the pediatrician before you leave. One or the other, I have no idea. All I know is that before we leave the hospital, we have to have a pediatrician. And so that is something that's on our list to do in the next couple of weeks so that we can have that appointment set up before we leave the hospital and we don't have to worry about it, or you know, as soon as I give birth, we're not trying to figure out what pediatrician to use because obviously that's not something you want to do in the first couple of days of your baby's life. I need to pack my hospital bag. I have had so many people ask me what's in my hospital bag. I have no idea. I haven't packed it yet. So I need to do that. I'm going to film what I end up putting in my hospital bag because I know a lot of you are curious and I have watched quite a few of those videos. And it seems like a lot of the stuff that people bring are things that I wouldn't want to bring, and then there's other things that I would want to bring that I haven't seen other people mention. So I'm definitely going to film that video as soon as I, buy some of the things that I want to bring and can actually put it together. On Adam's list, he is going to be creating a labor playlist. We are going to bring a Bluetooth speaker and then also just play music through our phone, like through the speaker in the room. And everyone has recommended doing this so that you can have music that's either like pump up music or calming music or whatever, so that it can really just help you. Otherwise, you're hearing a lot of like beeping from the machines, and I've heard that the environment is kind of sterile. So this will make you feel calmer and just more like at home, I guess. So we're taking that advice and running with it, and we will be bringing our own music, which I feel like will help me and maybe just like make me happier, which is what the goal is at this point. We went over our birth plan with our doula, and we need to make just a little one-sheet printout for the hospital and for our doula so that we can just hand it to them and they can know kind of what we want. Obviously, birth plans don't always go as planned. I'm fully aware of that, and I actually wasn't even planning on making a plan, but it was important to kind of go over what options could even happen. So that is what we're gonna do. These are just like our best case scenario. This is what we would want to happen, but we are flexible as long as we have a healthy baby and I can stay healthy and he can get here as safely as possible. That's what's important. But we still do want to have the birth plan printed out so that everyone knows what page we're on. I want to get all of my shower thank you notes done. So we just had our shower this past weekend. So I'm going to start working on the thank you notes. I'm hoping tonight and get them just knocked out this week so that I don't have to worry about them later. I really like sending thank you notes before we use products. I just don't like getting something and then using it without saying thank you for it. So I want to make sure that those get out before the baby gets here. So I'm going to be working on those this week and hopefully getting all of them out. And then the last thing on my list is to put together the changing baskets. We got 2 little diaper caddies and they're just little baskets that have dividers so you can put diapers and wipes and diaper rash cream or whatever else you need in like a changing station essentially, so that we can have one upstairs, one downstairs. We don't have to worry about, you know, trying to bring him all over the house to change him. We'll be able to change him wherever it's convenient for us. So I want to get those together. Just again, I'm trying to make my life as easy as possible when he comes home. I would much rather do the work ahead of time rather than trying to do it afterwards. Those are all of the things on my list. I have heard a lot of people make a bunch of freezer meals and they would rather do that than try and cook after the baby is born. That's just not something that I'm planning on doing, but I do think it's a good idea. So if that's something that would be up your alley, there's so many recipes and websites, and Pinterest obviously has a ton of options for different recipes that would be great for that. So that's an amazing idea to do if that's in your wheelhouse and that's something that you would be interested in doing. It would kind of take the worry of cooking and all of that out of your brain. Alrighty guys, those are all of the items on my 3rd trimester checklist. I would love to know down below, what are the things that you wanted to get done in your 3rd trimester? What are things that, I mean, maybe my list is frivolous, maybe it's not, I have no idea, but I would love to know if there's other things that you did that I didn't mention. Maybe I'm forgetting something. I'm probably forgetting something because I've never done this before, but definitely leave your recommendations down below in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.